Hey there, guys! It's Metro. Did you like Syiler's little copy of my intro? I liked that a lot, man. He's a good guy. That was pretty funny. I enjoyed that. But today we're back with something special, all right? So I finally got my main transferred over. Now on the PTR, you can actually transfer your main, or on the realm, the beta realms, I mean. So I finally transferred my Holy Paladin, which hopefully you guys know is my main. That's what I play for raids. And boy, they are really strong. So we're going to do a couple videos on healers as well. It's not something I originally intended to cover on this channel for the beta, but it's actually pretty cool. They can do a lot of damage, and I'm not even taking the damage talent. So what we're going to talk today about is the role of a healer in a 5-man now, and the Elemental Shaman that we have in the group, guys. All right, the first dungeon I've ever done with an Elemental Shaman. This is like groundbreaking, literally groundbreaking for me. I never thought I'd capture an Elemental Shaman. It seems so rare up until now. But yeah, it's not bad actually. Ellie's not bad. But so what you'll see with the damage there is I'm doing a pretty good amount. I'm not doing as much as I could because there's like 3 damage talents that I currently don't have, because I'd like to actually heal too. Like the talents surrounding them they're very good for healing. But if I wanted to, I could go even harder. I could do even more healing, or even less healing, but even more damage, which would be very good for 5-mans for a lot of reasons. And I probably should learn to play this way. This kind of goes back to the thing that I was talking about in the last video I made, was people were saying like, oh, tanks are, people, like this idiot basically said that tanks are really easy to play now. It's like, yeah, you just misunderstand the role, right? So you could say the same thing about healers, right? Maybe you would say the same thing about healers. You'd say they are very easy to play right now. And then I would show you what I'm attempting to do, and actually doing quite poorly in this dungeon, which is balancing my HPS and my DPS. Not an easy thing to do as a healer. In fact, I would say this is even more difficult to do than a tank's role. The tank role obviously has a lot of natural damage that also helps them with mitigation, but as a Holy Paladin especially, this is not the case. Almost nothing I do damage-wise helps me heal. So I have to balance the health of the party with the damage I'm doing, and obviously temper the difference in terms of the benefits. Like, I could let people die if I do more damage than them, maybe. That seems like a decent idea sometimes, right? Like, let them just survive their own way, and if I do a lot more damage than them, then it's more beneficial. We saw a lot of this with Heart of the Wild in challenge modes in Mop and Wad. It was a very overpowered ability when you use a pre-pot and a trinket or something like that. You could easily do more damage than the actual damage dealer, so it was literally up to them to keep themselves alive because you were doing the top damage. And now I think you're going to see this even more so with healers in Legion, which I love, actually. I really do love. I felt like that was a missing link. In fact, I did some Mythic 5-mans on live last night on Warlords of Draenor, and I try to do this exact same thing, and I could only do like 25k DPS where everyone else is doing like 300k, you know? People like fully mythic geared. So it's really a big difference. It really is, and I think the healer role in 5-mans is going to change dramatically. Now, I haven't seen other healers. Basically, whenever I tank, nobody seems to do this. It seems hard to get people to play this way. So maybe other healers aren't able to do this, like maybe, you know, Mistweaver Monk and Resto Druid and Resto Shaman and Holy Priest aren't able to do this. I know Discipline can do it. It's a little bit more difficult, but they also gain healing from it. So of course they need to do neither as well as anyone else to be able to do both, right? But yeah, I am definitely... also, we're getting to the point now here, as you see me inspecting this guy, that people are just starting to become really vastly overgearing these. So it's difficult to keep comparing specs, but I did want to compare. I did want to keep this series going because, you know, we found an Elemental Shaman. There's some interesting things that happen in some dungeons, so we'll try to find those and bring them to you. But as of right now, here's a good example here, right? Like, I'm choosing basically to not even do any damage this pull because I need to heal this guy. We've pulled the dogs. We got this guy, this mini boss thing. It's actually kind of dangerous. This pull here puts this green stuff on the ground, hits the tank, puts a debuff on people, etc. You see that dispellable debuff. Now, forewarning here, guys. I'm not properly equipped to heal on the beta. All right, there's some add-ons that I would normally use and some like weak auras and indications on Voodoo that are not working currently for me on the beta. So you're gonna see some suboptimal play if I do show you guys healing. I'm basically just doing it because it is my main, and I need to level and prepare for the Paladin leveling, but I really do not like doing dungeons as a healer. I think I explained that in a few videos ago, but either way, it is a very good exercise to look at this because First of all, we see Syiler, who is playing his Windwalker monk, just absolutely crushing the AoE, and then this Elemental Shaman, who is, you can see him casting chain lightning. It's not like he's AFK or something like that, but he is doing almost no damage. Like, I mean, I don't understand how you could be doing that little damage. We must be missing something here about Elemental Shaman. I even talked to other people saying, oh yeah, Ellie's really good AoE now. Obviously not as good as Enhance. You know, Enhance is just a little bit too strong right now. But yeah, people are like, oh yeah, Ellie's actually really good AoE. It's just not very consistent burst, single target. It's like, okay, well this guy is a diamond in the rough here, so it's hard to base exactly what's happening with the class on him. But I will say this, his single target was quite stable. He's under geared as well. I think Ellie's in a good place based on that. Like, he is not as geared as anybody else in the groups that we've been doing, and he was still able to do, I'd say, sizable single target. He did more than Syiler. Syiler's kind of medium geared right now. He's like 820-ish, something, 826-ish, maybe, something like that. So it could be better, could be worse, obviously, but I was pretty pleased with Ellie, especially since they're a range class, like, and how good enhancement is. You kind of expect, like, you remember in MoP, like, they had very different roles. Now those roles are kind of, they're kind of merged. It's difficult to keep that the way it was. Like, Enhance was like this crazy strong single target burst, but had very little AoE damage, and then Ellie was like godlike CM carry AoE with AG and the Earthquake and all that nonsense, and Fire Elemental and Lava Beam and all that. So I don't know. I don't know what talents are looking like for Ellie. I don't know what the spec, you know, anything like that. But what I do know is I am able to do a lot of damage, and we'll go back to that topic quickly. So the cool part about being able to do this damage, guys, all right, so the role in the dungeon is what I'm talking about here, is that you can elevate the pace of the dungeon. In fact, this is a 14-minute dungeon. Now, we joined at the first boss, so we skipped about 2 minutes of trash, maybe even less, or maybe more, depending, but we skipped a small amount of it. But this is the whole dungeon run you're watching. I don't cut anything out of this dungeon run, and it is a 14-minute dungeon, right? And a lot of that, and I'm really struggling here because everybody's taking so much damage, but a lot of that is because I'm doing this amount of damage. Usually that fifth player right there is 0, okay? But when you're able to do this much damage as a healer, and this is, you know, going to be the same for challenge modes. You know, it's been the same for challenge modes forever, and now even more so in the new Mythic Plus equivalent challenge mode dungeons. You need to be able to do this if you're a healer. You absolutely do. You need to, because this elevates the pace of the dungeon so grossly. It's unbelievable. You don't really understand. When you cut 25 seconds off bosses because you're doing another, you know, another like 10 to 15% of the boss's health and damage, you are really elevating the pace of the dungeon. You're cutting, you know, minutes off the dungeon just by doing this. Whereas normally in dungeons, you don't expect a healer to do this. And formerly, you didn't expect a tank to do this, guys. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. This is Legion. It's 2016, guys. All right? Leave your nostalgia and you know, your preconceived notions about what tanking and healing should be like at the door. All right? I understand it's not like it used to be. I understand that. It's better, if you ask me. Maybe you don't like it. I understand that. I'm going to make a video on a few of these topics as well to get people more primed for Legion. But the number one thing I could tell you right now, guys, is leave those old notions at the door with Legion. Legion has changed a lot of things about classes, about specs, about the roles, about dungeons in general. All right? A lot has changed. So you need to be prepared for it, man. Use this time now to figure out what you like, what you want to play. Maybe you've always wanted this. Maybe you always want to play a healer that can do this nice amount of damage. Well, now's the time to check it out. Maybe you always wanted to be a tank that could do, you know, crazy damage, but, you know, all these things. Like, well, now's the time to check it out. Maybe you hate it, the tank changes, but you're really liking, you know, say the enhancement shaman change. That shit was crazy. It's a 180 on the spec. Syiler hates it. Other people I've talked to are in love with it. So now is the time, guys. Now is the time. This is the beauty of a new expansion. This is not the time to be like, oh, the game's going to be so shit. I can't believe they changed things that I did for 4 years. It's like, this is the point. All right, guys, they're actually shifting the game's focus in a very healthy way. It's really fun. I have never had more fun in a beta, guys. I'm telling you that right now. And I say the same thing when I'm playing a Holy Paladin, man. I'm able to do crazy damage. I have very few spells that do damage, so it's pretty simple for me. A little bit boring at times, but it's very easy to maintain that damage. All you got to do is use Holy Shock as much as possible, keep Consecrate down when it's possible, and Judgment actually makes your Holy Shock and Crusader Strike do more damage. So those are your 4 rotational abilities. And then you have, some supplanted damage in other other talents that if you didn't have, you wouldn't be able to use them, obviously. But that's that, man. So you can do some good damage. So let's take a look here. I'm going to show you a little bit of damage as a Holy Paladin on the pull of this boss, and then you're going to see the boss in general. It's pretty crazy. This is a tough fight. This is definitely, we did this on Mythic. I think did I upload that? I can't remember. Yeah, I did. I uploaded this. It was a mess. It was a fucking disaster, honestly. So yeah, this is a tough dungeon, man. It's short, but there's some really challenging encounters, and it really helps when your healer is doing damage. It really does. So we're gonna pop everything on this thing here, minus wings, obviously. But you look at that. I mean, burst, man. And this is without wings and without damaging talents, dude. If I had all those things, I would be bursting higher than the actual damage dealers. So right there, second on damage for the duration of these first few minutes. And it's really just rotational. It's just rotational. I didn't do anything special. People talking about like, oh, mythics. I can't do mythics. They're too hard. No, guys, it's a video game, and you're human beings. Do you understand what we've overcome as a race, as a species? Okay? You could overcome this challenge. You can find 4 other humans and fly to a dungeon with them, all right? You can do it. I know you. Come on. You smart. You loyal. I know you. You can do it. Come on. You can do it, buddy. You can do it. All right? Just don't give up so quick, man. Play the game a little differently. Challenge yourself. Sorry, I got some allergies. Challenge yourself, guys. Challenge yourself, man. Put yourself in shoes that are more progressive than the ones you used to own. All right? Just do me a favor. If you're gonna play Legion, challenge yourself. Don't just queue for heroics and LFR. All right, man? That stuff's from ages ago, dude. That's for little kids. Are you a little kid? You little kid? Ah, you're a cute little kid, aren't you? No, you're not a little fucking kid, are you? You're a man. You're a grown man. You're a grown-ass man, and you're gonna do challenging content, because it's time. It's 2016, and it's Legion. World of Warcraft's different now. Now Holy Paladins can do crazy damage, and you can play a tank and do good damage and not have to worry about just mitigation. Alright, so go do it. Fun times, man, but anyway, at the end of this video, I included something that I just couldn't help but omit. We did like a 4-hour recording session yesterday, myself and Syiler, and I don't know how to describe this. But a good friend of ours, he was in whatever the voice chat was. I can't remember. We were in a voice chat together, and a good friend of ours was in there hanging out with us while we were doing this. And then some dude that he knew came in like drunk or something like that. And so I'll include another boss from a different dungeon, mostly for the hilarity that ensues there. But anyway, yeah, this boss is pretty difficult to heal, especially when people are struggling. I'm actually out of mana here. I don't know how this happened. I should have paid more attention when I was doing the voiceover here, but I do manage to find myself out of mana. I don't know how, honestly, but yeah, it's definitely a concern. You have no spirit anymore. There's no spirit on gear anymore, guys. So this is, hopefully something that we're going to actually have to deal with this expansion. It really got out of control really quick in Warlords of Draenor. But I think, they made the right decision removing it, because it didn't do what it was supposed to do. I don't believe, it didn't actually feel like a tangible thing to do. But anyway, that's it, guys. If you have any questions about Holy Paladin or anything like that, let me know. Otherwise, enjoy.
Yeah, you need to level up a DK and go blood blood spec PvP. It's the good shit.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
Dude. Are you playing at? I'm like dead serious now. So are you up to? I'm just trying to explain. But like, are you playing at EU or NA or what is that other servers? Like, what the fuck I'm talking about?
I have no idea what you're talking about either. It's
I
okay.
think they're all pretty high or drunk.
What realm are you playing at?
What rim?
Realm.
Oh,
Realm.
realm. Defiance Brotherhood.
Defines Brotherhood.
Yes.
Oh, are you playing at Alliance or Horde?
Alliance.
What is your main?
Hunter.
I hey Venom, I I have
You
to say
okay?
this at once, but I just lost all my respect to you
Okay.
because you told me that you main Hunter.
Thank you.
That's the most autistic fucking role at the fucking game because you're fucking playing a fucking face roll motherfucking class. That's the most autistic thing you can do.
Actually, no, it's
The
the
irony.
smartest thing you can do. Because it's the
Just
easiest thing
please,
to
hey,
be the best
yo.
at.
Yo, dude. Just
Yo.
fuck off.
Okay, bye-bye.
Fucking autistic piece of shit.
Okay.